Hi, guys. This is going to be a complicated one. But let's start it off. As you already know, Black Widow is strange. The weird thing is, there's nothing truly strange about the movie, about its structure, about its characters, about its development. The strange thing is that this film could have been special. Hi, my name is Tyler, and I love film. First of all, this was not the Black Widow film, I was expecting to get. Neither was it the one that I wanted. Okay, now let's get the problems out of the way. The biggest thing wrong with this movie is that it doesn't have identity. And this movie doesn't even try to be something special. It doesn't even try to be different. It doesn't even try to take risks with this character, even though this is the last time we're ever going to see her. This film, it doesn't try to be its own thing, and it doesn't try to push its own limits. It doesn't try to be anything more than the next film in a franchise starting to fall from grace. I wanted Natasha to go out with a bang. Black Widow, I even wrote my own script a long time ago in 2017 that is better than the entirety of this movie. I wanted Natasha to go out with a bang. I wanted this to be the best MCU movie. I wanted this to be one of the best. I wanted it to be the perfect Black Widow movie. I should have expected it not to be. Now, I'm going to get into a problem many people have with this movie that I don't have as much of a problem with, but really proves that this movie is a disappointment and a missed opportunity overall. I hate talking bad about this film. I truly do. Like I said, I wanted this film to be great, and I wanted to love it, but I don't. This film is strange, not because it's not like anything else in a bad way, but because it's strange that I don't know what to think of it. It's strange that it was made the way that it was made. And of course, the problem that I was about to talk about is Taskmaster. So, I should have said this earlier. There are major spoilers for this film. The other part before can be used basically as a spoiler-free review, everything you need to know about what I have to say of talking into spoiler territory. I can't believe I'm actually telling you that there's going to be spoilers when I'm literally talking about a movie that just came out and most people probably wouldn't have seen. So, let's get on with it. Taskmaster is really disappointing. I was so excited for Taskmaster. I had, one problem. One of my biggest problems with the MCU, it was shining when I realized Taskmaster was in this movie, but that's just a personal problem. And I am the biggest Marvel fan, as you know, biggest comic fan. I love the cartoons, and of course, love the movie. But Taskmaster is a great villain. He is in my top Marvel villains, and he is such a formidable foe. I couldn't wait to see in this movie how he adapted other Avengers' powers. I definitely wouldn't think of him as a Black Widow villain, but he's everybody's villain. And it would make sense as a Black Widow villain. And I'm glad they chose him for this movie. But the worst part is Taskmaster didn't even get to be Taskmaster. He didn't get to master anything. The closest he came was freaking holding a shield and staring at a screen. He didn't act like Taskmaster. It wasn't even it wasn't even Taskmaster. And then the reveal of who Taskmaster was, of the daughter of Dreykov. There's a point in this film where you know who Taskmaster is going to be, and the reveal just sucks. It has no emotional impact. It doesn't further the story, and it just disappoints the character. It's a trash reveal that you build no connection to. There's no payoff, and there's no build-up. It's just, oh yeah, okay, that random villain that most people don't know the name of is some girl. Cool. And it's disappointing. Taskmaster could have been a great villain, and there could have been a few ways that she could have been a great villain to Natasha, and a compelling villain, one of the most compelling in the MCU. But Taskmaster now came out as being one of the worst. But I didn't hate the design as much as other people did, which is a upside. I thought it was pretty cool. I didn't hate it like most others. Before I start talking about more bad things in this movie, I want to give one good thing, even though there are not as many as I would have hoped. The good thing is, at least Scarlett Johansson is still freaking hot. Like, generally, all the suits in this movie are pretty cool. I liked all the Black Widow suits. I thought they were a pretty good design, and yeah. Okay. The beginning of this movie started out pretty strong until it wasn't. Like, the beginning that most people are thinking about when they're listening to this is the montage and before we see Natasha as an adult running away from Ross. I love how it incorporated Civil War, and I would have loved to see that movie of her rediscovering herself and really trying to better herself while being chased by the government. But that, of course, didn't happen. And in this movie, there are so many other movies that I would have liked to see that are presented in this movie. But yeah, I like the beginning. It's pretty strong. The montage is pretty good. It's legit like the only part of this movie I enjoyed seeing and wanted to see from prior, which is her actually becoming Black Widow and showing how they tortured her, which is like the only build up for the reason that you get to hate Dreykov and all these other dudes besides the fact that he's a freaking dick. And yeah, Yelena's first mission was really cool. I would have loved to see things like that too, the actual Black Widow's hunting. I wish there was more emotional depth and showed that Black Widows are cold-hearted killers, but that was good. And of course, I don't need to say it because it's been said so much, but Florence Pugh's Yelena, like, she's amazing in this movie. She's so compelling, and she's just naturally, like, likable and funny, like, and she legit feels like a little sister. Also, the action in this movie is completely generic. There is nothing special about it. And most of the time, I was bored during the action. Like, at the end, it is horrible. I'll get to the finale in a second, but the action is not engaging at all, and it looks fake at some points. It is not well choreographed at all. I mean, if this film was... I wish this film was, like... This film could have worked, and if it was like more like The Winter Soldier, it could have been great, because The Winter Soldier is arguably the best film in the MCU as far as going by an actual film. But this movie doesn't do that at all, and the action is horrible. And I hate to say that because it's subjective, but this action is not engaging and is very generic. The second biggest problem with the film structurally, because my first reason was it not having identity and not trying to push itself. The next one is kind of opens up on that, is the stakes are insanely low in this movie. There are no stakes whatsoever. Like, it's even lower because of Endgame, but that shouldn't matter. Like, stakes should still feel high. Like, they should, like, other characters should still be at risk, not just Natasha. Like, there should still feel like bad things could happen if she doesn't succeed at whatever she's doing, and she just romps along and just freaking succeeds, and it's not engaging or thrilling. A good thing about this film, though, is that there are a few really good lore drops, and I got them all, so that's always fun. Another mixed aspect about this film is that it's a spy movie. Like, this film could have been so fun as a spy thriller, a dark spy thriller, a mature spy thriller in the MCU about Black Widow rediscovering her past, coming to terms with it, coming to terms with the monster she says she is, with everything set up in all the other movies, in Joss Whedon's Avengers, in Iron Man 2, in The Winter Soldier, up to Civil War, all the backstory, all the Red Room teases from Age of Ultron. By the way, the Red Room is completely thrown out in this movie. All of that would be shown in full force. It'd be a dark movie about Black Widow and abuse, how she comes to terms with it, and how she fights the monster inside her because she was an assassin, a cold-hearted killer. And that would have been great with the gritty spy thriller. I liked in the beginning how there were pure Jason Bourne homages. Like, just literally homages. Like, action to action. Like, legit, just pure homages. That was fun. But this film doesn't feel like a spy movie at all. And you know how much I love spy movies if you watched my video about the lost magic of the spy genre, which you should. And it's really disappointing. It's like, what happened to Black Widow? Like, the story that I proposed would actually be empowering. A broken, powerful individual actually coming to terms with their past, doing something the hard way. Like, that's female empowerment. That's literally, there's nothing more empowering than that. A strong female coming to terms with abuse. But her just yelling at people is apparently a lot better. And that brings me into the themes. The themes of this film, they fell completely flat. Like, it's not like... I like thematic storytelling. I love Zack Snyder's movies. But you either follow the themes or you just freaking hate the movie. Or just watch the movie. But the difference between these two is that film gives me the choice. Zack Snyder's films give me the choice to follow along with his themes, to accept it no matter how much I don't like it, no matter how different I would make it, even though I love Zack Snyder's films. They gave me the choice, and this film doesn't. Also, there's like zero character development for like Natasha. It's not visible at all. Like, her family gets more character development than her. She does not come to terms with like anything except for like her abuse, which is very subtle. And then at the points it should have been way more powerful was way in your face and not as emotionally charged. Also, I forgot to mention this about the action. This scene was actually really good. It was engaging, it was fun, it was the kind of action that I wanted to see from this movie. It actually felt like a spy movie, and Black Widow actually felt like Black Widow. So I really liked this scene. I love it when heroes invade fortresses and stuff. It is so freaking awesome. And I really liked how they did it in this movie. That is the only action sequence that is good. Like, I really wish the one with Black Widow and Taskmaster on the bridge was way better. Okay. I was originally going to propose my version of this movie to you guys, but I don't think I have enough time because I have plenty more points, and this video is getting long, and I have a 15-minute limit, and YouTube won't let me post anything longer than 15 minutes. So I'm going to say a few more things. The comedy in this movie actually landed for me. I actually thought it was funny, and there was some really good family tension at the dinner table, which was good and added more depth. The finale was horrible, not engaging at all. Everything fell flat. It was not a good finale. It wasn't even fun to watch. It wasn't even cool. I really liked how the Red Room was, like, in the sky. Like, that was, like, a cool reveal for people who even cared about the Red Room at all and were anticipating it. Like I said, I love in fortresses, and the base being in the sky is awesome, but that literally makes no sense. Like, it would not be there. How does that stay in the sky without S.H.I.E.L.D. taking care of it, or Ross, or Tony Stark, or anything? That literally makes no sense, and that doesn't hold as much emotional depth and trauma as the Red Room usually would, because my idea was, in my script, it'd be a place where these girls are tortured and like at cheerleading, to kill and brainwashed into thinking they're ballerinas, but they're actually assassins, and they are experimented on, turned into weapons. And that is where they are brought to kill people. One thing I really liked about this film was that it wasn't trying to be woke or feminist, but again, the themes about abuse and how men take advantage of women were really on the nose and weak. Okay, I'm going to open up on a point that I said before about how this film has a lot of good ideas in it and a lot of other films in it that could have made it better. So, number one, my story, Black Widow, Red Room, my script, which I'm going to, kind of edit for this video to be more of an MCU interlocking kind of thing. But then there's also Budapest, which would have been a great movie. There's her running away from the government. And then my thing where she has to confront the Red Room, and Taskmaster is the perfect spy, what she was meant to become and what she was and was on the road to becoming. Overall, this film is very disappointing. It could have been so much more, but it doesn't even try to be. I give this film a 7.7 out of 10.